Alright, so what is going on, everybody? Quancredible here, bringing you the chapter review for Black Clover. Was it 236? Yeah, chapter 236. Now, before I get started, I want to give a small shout out to one of my subscribers, Irgon15. I apologize if I said that wrong. You can yell at me or correct me. He always tells me exactly when the chapters come out, and that is extremely helpful. I just wanted to tell you that in the beginning of the video, because if I was left up to myself, I'd probably miss it all the time. Um, but getting right into the chapter, this one starts with a flashback between Asta and Yuno. I believe we've seen this one before, just when Asta was telling Yuno that we need to keep our friends really close and treat them like family, and it kind of goes over what has been happening with Yuno over the past 18 months, a little bit, or not really the past 18 months, but I guess the past 6. How I'm assuming after this whole elf and devil slash demon whatever, the members of the Golden Dawn squad started treating him a bit better, which is cool. It actually is kind of weird that some of the nobles are treating him better, because at that point it's like if the Golden Dawn are treating Yuno better, then they might start treating all peasants better, and that might kind of throw off the whole prejudiceness and discrimination that's in the Clover Kingdom. And I mean, that's a good thing, but at the same time, I don't that's a conflict within the Clover Kingdom, so it's good to see it being resolved, but I don't know how that's gonna, it seems like a bigger issue that should be saved up for later. I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't really think it should be getting solved now. Anyway, enough of that. Last chapter, Yuno had just arrived to see all his comrades defeated, and this chapter we learned that about half of them are dead, which is I mean, people say no one dies in Black Clover, but it's these guys totally just died. Half of them 100% died, and yeah, so Yuno's super upset about that and shoots a spirit storm at oh man, this guy's name, I honestly don't think I can say it. I'm gonna just call him the Rock Hand guy. Garderoys? Yeah, he's just gonna be the Rock Hand guy for now. So, this guy's able to block Yuno's spirit storm, and he said something that kind of was weird to me. So the thing he said that bothered me was that when he said my stone magic with the devil's power makes it harder than iron or steel. This one was kind of weird, because it's I don't know how much of you, I don't know how many of you guys follow how people scale Black Clover characters in terms of strength, but a lot of people put a lot of characters into Black Clover really, really strong. Now, I'm definitely not somebody who likes to overscale people. I kind of have it more baseline on where they are. But even though, saying this guy's rock is harder than iron or steel, it's well, duh, it should be. Spirit Storm is way stronger than iron or steel. So it just sounded weird. It was like a weird way to say that his stuff was strong. It'd be like saying, yeah, Goku's strong enough to flip a car. It's well, yeah, Goku's strong enough to flip a car. That's a weird way to say how strong he is. But maybe they don't really have anything to compare how hard that would be, so I guess they just use iron or steel. I guess I could forgive them for that. But anyway, the guy starts shooting a bunch of rock magic at Yuno, and he does his spirit hush dance, but he's also able to rescue his comrades at the same time, which just shows that Yuno's way faster than this guy. This guy has no hope of catching Yuno with any of his attacks. If you're able to dodge attacks and save people at the same time, if that was me, I would be thinking man, there's no way I'm at this dude. There's no way. This guy also mentions that Yuno is that aside from the captain, which is Vanjit, Yuno is also a stage 0, which is something I'm pretty sure all of us could have assumed or had assumed. So then during the fight, Yuno asks a bit more questions for him, and then I'm assuming this is Tabata's way of kind of fleshing out what's happening a little bit more without directly telling us. And I think he chose a really good character with this rock hand guy to do it, because when Yuno's asking why did you do this, why are you attacking us, he's I don't even know, I just want to kill people. Which is I feel a character like that is really good to send in, because of course our main character is going to ask some questions, try to figure out what's going on, but it's the only information this guy really gave us is that the last king was peace loving, so they killed him, and we wanted to fight, so they gave us more power, which we kind of knew that a little bit, but not quite all the way. So I think Tabata chose a really good antagonist for Yuno to fight in this place. Now during this, Yuno pulls out his Spirit of Zephyr, like the big sword thing or whatever, and it looks like super dope in this panel here. I'll like flash it really fast, not for too long, because I don't want the YouTube police to freaking beat me up. But it's cool to see that Yuno still has that. I know there was a lot of like talk if he even still had it in the in the dungeon. Like there was a lot of, or not dungeon, in the Shadow Palace. A lot of people thought he didn't still have it because it was like of magic absorbed from the area. A lot of people thought, of course he had it because it was a spell. So just to see him use it right here, that bam solidifies it. He 100% has it. With the sword, he was able to cut through the guy's magic that his Spirit Storm wasn't even able to get through. Now, I mean, of course, I'm assuming the sword is also stronger, but at the same time, like, not to downplay it, but you have to think about it. A sword is sharp versus the Spirit Storm, which is a huge blast. So, like, of course, like, the sharpness, like, the more condensed would have, I guess, more attack potency, or would be better suited to get through a defense just because of the nature of the attack. But it's still impressive nonetheless that Spirit Storm is much stronger than the Spirit. I'm gonna just keep calling it Spirit Sword. That the Spirit Sword is stronger than the Spirit Storm. A weird way to say that, but so then with that, cuts through him, and he basically says like, I'll be the one to shut all this down. Now the thing, and then that's where the chapter ends, and the thing I immediately thought about is there's still an entire another person there. So I'm wondering what that other dude, that like weird looking guy, like what was he doing this entire time? Like was he just watching his like teammate get cut up? Like was he helping? Is he beating up more Golden Dawn members? Like did he get into a secret fight of his own? Like why did, like, do they not really help or care about each other all like that? Like what was he doing this entire time? Like, cause they were literally standing like pretty close to each other, like when the fight started, I'm sure, or at least they had to be in like the same hall or same room somewhat nearby. He had to, I don't know, I just think he should have helped. Like I have no doubt that Xenon or Zeno, I'm sure he wouldn't have helped him. I mean, he probably has his hands full with William and all that, but like the other guy, like where was he at? After this chapter, I mean, it was just a basic fight chapter. Like, this is the thing we see in manga all the time. Just a chapter with just a fight in it. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, we did get some good information, confirmation that still has his spirit sword. I guess the only questions for that I really have is, I know it's supposed to be comprised of the magic in the air. Well, at least he said it was made of the magic of the area back in the Shadow Palace. So I wonder, is that just what it was made of, just the magic of the area in the Shadow Palace, or is it made, like when he makes it, is it just whatever magic is in whatever area? And then even if it is, like why is that, like I understand why it was relevant there, but like would that still be relevant here? So all in all, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed me a fight chapter. It's my dude. I actually like this rock guy a lot just because he's like just a brain dead killer. Like I enjoy those kinds of characters. Like not everybody needs to be like super like mental strategists and all that. Like especially when it comes to grunts, I just like me a good old fashioned guy with rock hands that just kills people. That is enough for me. So let me know what you guys thought of the chapter down below. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Probably like a easy, like it's like a solid 6.5, 7 chapter, which isn't bad. That's a good chapter. Excited to see what's going on next week. I really want to see what's happening with Vengeance. Like I really need to see him and Zeno fight. Yeah, so outside of that, like and sub if you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in my next video.